Welcome to Don't Say Adulting,
a podcast by Grotto Network.
hosted by Jane O'Connor
And Mike Rossetti.
It's the show where I ask the questions that I want to know.
And also, I'm here too.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Benvenuti.
Welcome to Don't Say Adulting,
Don't say it.
podcast with Grotto Network.
Yes.
Where I just try to recruit everybody in my life to help me out.
Which isn't many.
Yeah, I've recruited Mike here.
This is a pity offer.
Mike has agreed to be my co-host, Mike Rossetti.
Hello.
And I'm Jane O'Connor. And today...
Thank you for the intro, Jane.
You're welcome.
I think I usually say my name. But
well, I realized I'd been saying it, but I hadn't introed.
Well.
So
yes.
I was. Everyone was listening. They're probably really confused. They're like, "Who's Mike? Who's the
Yeah, that's true.
mustachioed fellow sipping?"
I am
quite
mustachioed.
loudly.
If you, it's so polite in many cultures, not including my own. But
speaking of drink, we're going to be talking about food.
Right.
That was my transition.
It was a good one. It was a good one. You know, a bit of a stretch, but it worked.
Yeah. So in this show, we like to talk about some of the questions I'm facing as a young adult, and hopefully, you know, with Mike's perspective, with our special guest's perspective, we can spread this advice far and wide among many other 20-somethings who may be struggling with the same thing.
Across the greater Michiana area.
And what I'm struggling with, Mike...
What, Jane? Please don't tell me you're eating like your mom's rice from like 2 months ago. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, I'm struggling with cooking for myself.
Okay.
In particular, cooking for one person is the topic of today, because I don't know. I've never really acquired adequate cooking skills in my 23 years. Have relied on my mom's cooking a lot.
I mean, many do.
Yeah.
You know, you're not.
I think I had a pretty classic college experience of ramen, mac and cheese.
Okay.
You know.
You didn't fried yourself up like an egg sandwich or something?
Well, the egg sandwich, that's a little complex. An egg, I could do a couple eggs.
I'm going to slurp again.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just been, I've realized I buy a ton of produce. I end up throwing a lot of it away.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, well, and the other thing is that cooking is sort of an event for me. It's very, I have to plan it out, and then I do it, and I'm like, not again for another week or so. I need a break.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of people. You're not alone there.
And I'm struggling with the concept of cooking for myself every night. Feels very...
Is the goal to do it every night? Jane?
Well, I think it's to have most of my meals coming from my kitchen.
A hot pan.
You know, rather than... I think right now, majority of my meals are either frozen meals or eating out.
Okay.
And I would like the majority to be I'm cooking myself, and I am. And you were something of a chef yourself.
Well, some may say. But, I mean, sorry.
I was going to say, what's your experience with learning to cook?
I grew up cooking, like, regular. I remember, like, my first cookbook. My dad's super Italian, so every Saturday was literally preparing, like, a massive meal for Sunday. And I do that today. Like, so even though I live by myself, I still...
make a massive...
cook as if I'm feeding 10 other Italian people. But
so you can't really relate to that.
No, I can't. I mean, like when I was in college, I never really did the ramen thing or mac and cheese. Like I was more like, I'm gonna make myself like, I'm gonna roast a sweet potato and make an egg sandwich, or like I'm gonna
see, that's already
up a pepper.
That's a step above.
I guess so. I just was like, this is still me cooking, but like in a time constrained single way.
Do you feel like you've picked up anything?
That I've picked up anything?
Yeah, in your post-grad life in terms of cooking.
My God. I cook I like roast myself a chicken on a Tuesday night, you know? Like.
See, I feel fancy if I get a rotisserie chicken from Costco.
I mean,
that feels pretty...
in many ways, that is fancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even as someone who's, 9 years ahead of you in life.
Yeah. We'll say 9.
Let's say 9. 10, whatever decade. I mean, yeah, there's times where it's like, this is hard to cook for yourself. And like, you're tired. But I think I just like value, food.
Yeah.
And cooking. Like for me, that's a therapeutic good part of my day. I look forward to doing it on the weekend. I mean, it's this like, I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. That's where I want to get, you know, because right now, this is another thing we'll probably bring up with the guest is that you can get decently priced frozen meals. You know, my closest grocery store is Trader Joe's right now.
Yeah.
And they have some really good stuff for like $4.
But, well, I don't know. What do they do to it, though?
What do you mean, what do they do to it?
Like, what is it? What's the frozen meal?
I usually get their Indian dinners. So they'll do like a chicken tandoori or with basmati rice, you know?
Frozen rice?
Frozen
Really?
rice, yeah.
You just microwave it?
Mm-hmm.
I've never frozen rice before.
And I don't know. I mean, so it's hard for me. And the thing is, though, is that so I'm losing some. I feel like I'm not seeing some of the advantages of cooking for myself that come from saving money, because I feel like I'm throwing away a ton of stuff that I buy.
Well, sorry. That makes no sense. I'm buying stuff and I'm throwing it away. So what? Because you're avoiding cooking?
No, because I'm like only cooking for one person, and then also because cooking is this sort of mental event in my life.
How much are you buying?
I'm not buying a ton, but
food's rotting in my fridge. I can't get to it.
I do have some carrots that I think are rotting currently.
Okay.
It's a little sad.
So, okay.
So then I don't buy produce anymore because
why wouldn't you buy like one pepper? How often are you going to the grocery store?
Not that often. Probably once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, yeah. Why are you expecting produce to last that long?
Well, I just mean
it's a fresh fruit.
I just mean like I know I could more effectively use this produce if I was more confident in the kitchen. You know, I could use it for multiple meals. I could use it for, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think.
What aren't you confident about, Jane? Let's get to the issue here. Like, I mean, this like.
We don't need to worry about that right now. We just need to worry about.
I would like to. Yes, I would like to. I guess. Yeah. I mean, like, are you scared of a bell pepper?
Well, it's more just I don't feel comfortable in the kitchen, so then I feel like I really have to meticulously plan my time in the kitchen, and then that's not what I want to spend my time doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend my time meticulously planning.
Well, yeah, that's why I need to get to a position where this is the whole point, Mike.
Okay, I guess sorry.
You're not helping me out.
Well, I mean, just do it. You're just like, I got a pepper, I got an onion, I want to cut them up, I'm going to throw them in a frying pan. You got to learn to work your seasonings, work your oil, work your pan.
Yeah.
Boil some pasta at the same time.
See, also doing multiple things at the same time, very difficult for me.
So
I overcook.
First of all, Jane, stop, because I've seen you do multiple things at once. You had 2 different videos that you were editing at the same time up on a screen. Most people would feel very overwhelmed by that.
Well, I just mean because, okay, here's a common problem I have. I will like put something to cook on the stove and I'll cut something else that I'm going to add.
Yeah, and that's normal.
But it takes forever to cut something that I end up overcooking what's in the pan. We got
to look at your knife skills. I think honestly that's what I would like to do after this. It's just like, because have you ever watched Pasta Grannies? It's a great YouTube series of just like Italian ladies cooking. These women, right? They like learned how to cook without a cutting board because most people's kitchens are so small. Like you just like watch these ladies like they've got a garlic clove in their hand. They just like slice it right into the pot.
Are you in that? Do you do that?
I couldn't do that. Yes, I do. But I also use a cutting board. So
okay.
I'm ambidextrous. If that's the word. Is ambidextrous? Wait, what's the word? I'm trying to be like
ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. Excuse me. Thank you.
Wait, you mean using both hands?
Yeah.
Okay,
but like in the context of cooking.
Yeah.
Just like. Burp, burp.
It means you have 2 right hands.
I got these right hands. I just use them. No, I guess especially for like weekday cooking, the last thing you want to do is be thinking about it. You're just like, I just need to eat.
It's easier for me, at least I'm in a position where it's easier for me to just buy something. But I want it
Well, of course it's easier, but it's the wrong thing to do. That's my,
all right,
what did Gandhi say? You know?
I don't know what he's...
I don't either. I can't remember.
I'm not trying to set myself up to seem too pathetic. But I do hope that our guest today, Jairo,
successfully have made you. I don't know what to do with these apples.
You know?
I can't eat apples in time.
This is what I...
Sorry, tell us about our guest, please.
Well, a local cook here in South Bend co-owns a business with his wife, and he's going to be coming on to talk a little bit about what they do, any practical tips he has for me.
Just you.
Just me.
Just Jan.
Well, for anyone who might be struggling, now you're making me feel like I'm the only person who has this problem.
No, you're not. I shouldn't. I'm being harsh.
And hopefully he's going to have some tips for young people, fresh out of college, trying to cook on their own, trying to save money possibly, and also just trying to learn a new life skill, an important life skill. That's what I feel like the real reason.
I mean, it's a huge life skill.
Yeah.
I would say that. I respect you, but The fact that you're getting overwhelmed by a pot being on the stove at the same time as a pan is alarming.
And a cutting board.
Oh, for God's sake. That's not even on the stovetop.
All right. Well, we will be right back with Don't Say Adulting and our new guest.
Yes.
So stick with us.
Please.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Don't Say Adulting. I'm still Jane.
I'm still Mike.
And now we have a special guest, though, in the room. We've got Jairo Aleman from A Bite With Me, local chef here in South Bend, who's gonna talk to us a little bit about cooking, about his business. You wanna intro yourself a little bit?
Oh yeah. So Jairo Aleman. I've been cooking a little bit about myself, like a little bit of history.
We want to hear about it. Yeah.
So I got into cooking because it's something that my mother really wanted me to kind of consider as a career. She loved cooking, and her and my father actually met at a restaurant. They both worked at the restaurant, and my dad was relocated from that one chain to another chain, and my mom followed.
Stop.
Him. Yeah.
So cute.
She was like, "I'm so in love with this guy. I'm gonna go."
Stop.
And they always had this, desire to want to, start a restaurant, and so it's something that, she saw that I was good at. So she was like, hey, you should, take some classes at Ivy Tech and see what happens from there.
Yeah.
And so that was the start of the journey. It's just been doing it for 20 years since.
Wow.
And different restaurants here, local restaurants. I moved out to the Quad Cities out in Davenport, Iowa, and worked for an Italian chef there, and came back and explored a little bit more of like the finer cuisines. And
yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So you've got lifelong cooking experience.
Lifelong
what I'm
cooking
hearing.
experience. Yes.
I was curious. I wonder what the moment was that your mother was just like, "This kid's got it. This kid's got it."
Yeah, I think it was like because I tried to do like graphic design, and she saw that I was having a hard time. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you're really good at cooking.
Yeah.
And I've always watched Mario Batali.
Class.
Classic. And she was like, hey, I could see you doing that. I could see you being on TV, cooking for people. You love it so much. And, I was just, the way I cooked was like just really organized anyways. But like when I saw Mario Batali, do his thing, I was like, man, this guy's got it. Like he's got all the things ready to go. You just do this and
chip, chop, chop.
Yeah, exactly. And so so I think from that point, she was, kind of encouraged me a little bit. She wasn't nagging about it, but, it was just like, okay, it's pretty clear that
she wasn't like, "Hey, Jairo, would you start cooking already?"
Do something with your life. It's like,
yeah. Okay. Well, it's good that I have some people here. This is exactly as I planned, who are good at cooking because I am very bad at cooking. And as I was discussing with Mike earlier, I'm in desperate need of advice. I'm eating out way too much. I'm buying way too many. Here's the problem. So
I don't know what to do with salad.
I don't know how to make a salad. Okay, that's really sensitive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of that. It's a real problem for Jane.
Well, what happened? Here's a big problem.
But you know how to buy a salad, right?
I know how to buy a salad. Okay. I actually bought one today that I ate.
Nice.
But I have this problem where cooking is sort of an event for me, where I get not overwhelmed, but I feel like I have to really plan it out, and then once I do it, I don't want to do that again for another week. I need like a little break, and I think I need for a healthy life balance, I need a majority of my meals to be coming from my kitchen and to enjoy cooking, and I think that's just a really helpful life skill that I currently don't have. So right off the bat, is there anything that comes to mind in terms of ways? I mean, because it seems like you've enjoyed cooking from a young age. Mm-hmm. Do you think you have any tips, though, for someone who maybe doesn't enjoy cooking and could like to get to a place where you do enjoy cooking?
Find the things you love to eat, right? And then research what that is. And try to replicate, whatever recipe is out there for that. Or you can talk to people like me,
Yeah.
And
that's the stage I'm in right
yeah.
now.
But yeah, it's for me, I think it's just what flavor profile I'm going for, and whatever that is. Like I do a little bit of background on it and kind of just wing it, it's something that.
Well, it seems like this is also what led you to your business idea, essentially, right? Was trying to find something you liked eating.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Because A Bite with Me, we were talking about this before the podcast.
Indeed, yeah.
It's technically fusion food, but you don't really like that label necessarily.
Right. Yeah. I think that it's just the food it is what it is, and like just from our experiences together, cooking together, kind of brought some ideas, to the table. Where
you and your partner,
my partner and I, and she being, the Korean half, and we just, she wanted to do a little bit of everything, Middle Eastern, let's play around with those notes. And I'm like, I'm Korean, or you're Korean, I'm Mexican. Let's just keep it simple, right? And we love Korean and we love Mexican. Let's figure out, what to do with those flavor profiles. And it was kind of awesome in a sense, because we didn't think that it would work, and it just it works. And a few months later, I followed this chef, Roy Choi, from LA.
The chef show, right? Is he on that?
Yeah, the chef show.
And
he does a lot of Korean Mexican kind of fusion, because in LA, but
that's
Koreatown and the
power combo out there.
Power combo. Yeah. So I was like, see, it works. See, they're doing it already. And so it was something that, I was telling her, okay, so if we build A Bite with Me, we build the brand, we create this food that people will enjoy, because it's something that you can't get here in this area, or I don't even think you can get it in Chicago, really. I don't know. I've never.
There's one place called Del Sol, which is Korean tacos, I think is what they would.
Okay.
But I have not eaten at your fine institution yet, so I don't quite know if that was compare. But
I don't know. I've never been there. But I was trying to look it up, and so Del Sol. So, but okay, so you can go to Chicago, or you could go to LA. What I mean? To have this food, and I was thinking let's just bring it here, establish what this is for us, and then educate the people here in South Bend what whole cooked food tastes like, what you can do with real fresh ingredients.
I was sort of curious, before you and your partner started fusing, what were you cooking for yourself?
We were doing a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we were all over. So me coming from more of fine dining and big background on Italian cooking, I would do a lot of pastas, the sauces, that kind of meal. And her background is more of cooking with what she had. She learned from working at the Common Goods grocery on the south side of town.
Yes,
a little bit outside of downtown. And so she was cooking prepared foods for them, and she was just getting whatever produce she had, and then she made a meal out of it. And that's also kind of how we met. Was
okay. Wow. So your parents met through food. You met your partner through food.
Yeah.
Just
that's why this is the real reason I need to get into food. Yeah. So I'm not single forever.
Oh, is that what we're the show's about?
No,
we're looking to find someone for Jane with an apple.
I have a lot of ulterior motives.
Well, I was because it sounds like Italian cooking professionally. But when you get home from work, what were you? I'm assuming you would be exhausted after a long day of cooking. So what would you eat for yourself at home?
bologna.
Bologna. I love it. Fried bologna sandwich.
Spam, peanut butter and jelly.
I do love spam. I can make spam.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese, you know, just something, you know, something that,
kind of whipping it together.
Yeah, just whipping it together. It's like, man, all this good food, and this is what chefs eat.
Yeah, I've heard that before, actually.
It's the facts.
Yeah.
Facts of life.
Okay, I want to go back to, you mentioned that with your business, you're trying to show the things you can make with ingredients in your kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
What are things that you think are staples for the kitchen? For even your most amateur cook, what should anyone have just on hand?
If fresh produce.
You got to use it. That's the thing. You got to use it.
Yeah, but you got to use it, right? Exactly.
It's not just sitting there look pretty, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only, like, one of the few things that we actually have canned is, like, tomato sauce. That's
nice.
Basically most of what comes out of a can that we have at the house. We do have some frozen stuff, but you know, that's just like on those days.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we just got done cooking for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
We just want to throw in a pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to like mess the kitchen up or anything.
Yeah.
That's like more of my, you know.
Yeah.
My personality. She's more like, no, let's just cook the stuff we have.
Yeah.
It's like, frozen pizza.
So some canned
mac
sauce,
and cheese, you know what I mean?
Yeah, some like dried noodles up in the pantry, always good to have.
Mm-hmm.
What are like some things that, you know, I'm very inexperienced, that I could just add to anything and really add flavor? Because I think the flavor aspect is another thing that holds me back. It's like, I think the things I could buy.
Like, what spices do you use? That would add
something that's just good to have on hand. Because I think if I could make things that I liked, that would probably be helpful.
Yeah, for me, I typically look for, so the flavors come from like onion and garlic, you know, and herbs, right? So like, if you're depending on what you're in the mood for, right, and it all changes, but something that's very versatile are those three things, you know, like an herb, garlic, and onions. So if you have those things in your kitchen, you're gonna figure out
come up with something
with that. You know, it's like, hey, you know, I saw this video, rosemary, herb, lemon, chicken, and I got all those things.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
You know, and so it's really citrusy. So some type of acid, you know, cooking oil, obviously, you know.
Oil is important, I've heard.
Oil is important.
Good olive, or I don't know if you use
Do you have a preferred oil?
Right now I'm cooking with avocado oil.
Okay.
Oh.
Seems to be very, it has a very high heat, you know,
like a heating point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
can't remember.
I'm over here forgetting.
Like burning. It won't combust until it gets to a high temperature.
Exactly. But I'm leaning towards like getting off of that for myself, like personally, and trying to use more of like animal-based fats.
Okay.
I feel like my body, and then, you know, I'm 40 now, so like I can feel some of those things, you know, affect me a little bit.
Like the avo doesn't sit well with you, type
right?
thing,
The oils, you know, like just the way, you know, they're processed, and like so I'm like, you know, I think
that has been
get some good old lard, you know.
That's been in the discourse lately. People doing beef tallow switching to animal fats.
Yeah.
Where do you usually get that? Do they have that at the store?
They got lard at the store.
They do have lard at the store. A really good quality would be probably from like a butcher shop. So if you go to a local butcher shop, we normally go to DC Meats out in Osceola, about maybe 15-20 minutes from here. There's EB's over on the west side.
And are these butchers lard them, like they produce that themselves?
They produce them themselves, or and sometimes you know, for a large quantity they will outsource it.
Okay.
But not all of them have what it takes to, you know, create it. But duck fat, you know, all all those things.
Are you not an olive oil guy? I'm Italian, so I'm just like, where's my olive oil shout out?
If I'm cooking Italian, it has to be good quality olive oil. It just that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's like,
yes,
that's something that I won't.
I do.
Yeah.
I have olive oil in my cabinet, so it's one of the few things.
Is
in
it
there.
EVOO?
It's
not the Trader Joe's olive oil.
I think it is.
Okay, that stuff is clear. It's not even.
Yeah,
it's not. It's
all right. So where should I? Where should I?
Not anywhere. I mean, Kirkland brands. But
Okay.
Just
all right.
Get to Costco.
Yeah, get to Costco. I mean, unless you're cooking for yourself, then stay away from Costco.
Right.
That's
a
part
big,
of this.
that big bottle.
Yeah.
It's a big bottle.
This does actually lead me to another question, which is eating healthily. We were talking about switching to beef fats and ingredients like that. Is there a way for, again, if you're just starting out, you can do
using
some
your produce,
like quick
how to use
switches, using your produce, little switches here and there that don't take a lot of thought or experience that you could just drastically improve the stuff you're putting into your body?
It's hard. I've come to find out that like everybody's body type is different, right? So like, I mean, and that's, I mean, everyone pretty much at this point, and not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people who are conscious of what they're eating have that in them, that, like, hey, like me, like olive oil and, these saturated oils are not, they mess my gut up. So like, what do? I'm changing, from that to more animal fat. But I guess where am I going with this?
Well, you're like, I'm just like, how to be healthy.
Yeah, or just, it seems like if I just start trying things, see what messes with my gut, and then really from there.
Man, you got to go. Yeah, so
your gut bugging you? Have to. Is that
you have to go through.
My gut's pretty powerful. Okay. I think that's actually the fear, is I could be eating some pretty terrible things.
Well, just you wait.
Start from like beginning and like start your day with like some water and like I heard like lemon juice, you know, like a little bit of lemon, like freshly squeezed lemon juice, and figure out from that point like not eat right away, and it kind of does suck because you like you have to stay away from coffee too.
Oh well, no.
I do hop on that coffee really quick.
You could do a little bit, but not too much to like where it actually messes with your stomach. Some people do have like me a little bit of allergy to coffee, but it's like, so you have to start clean and then slowly introduce some of those things to your body. Mainly what they say is like eat fruit and vegetables, and then explore, do that for about a week, and then explore,
just fruits and veggies. Is that
fruits, veggies, salads, like little, I mean, you could do like a little bit of oil and like, vinegar and stuff, and just to kind of make that salad taste like, a little more. But,
not so lettucey.
But, then you introduce lactose, your eggs, and, slowly. So like, and once you start kind of doing that gradually, you'll know like what is the cause.
Okay.
But then again, like it's also quality. Yeah. So like if you're going, if you're getting EVOO from Trader Joe's, like,
wow.
Sorry,
put me on the spot again. I actually have heard this about gluten. People that have gluten sensitivities, that when they go to Europe or other places that have maybe stricter regulations, they actually are able to digest it. So
that's a big thing.
So just go to Europe. That's the tip of the day.
Here locally, you can find there's the elder-bread who does sourdough's really good bread, and that I can eat, and that's and my gut is fine. But like any loaf bread that I get from like Meijer or any grocery store, it's that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It sits differently.
I was gonna ask maybe for folks like Jane who aren't as experienced with cooking, what's like a protein that you would suggest people who are like learning to like cook like
a simple protein that's like
what would be like a good way to get into like feeling more, because I think meat, you're just like, is it raw? Am I gonna get bugs or worms?
I cooked pork for the first time like a week ago.
I feel like pork gets a bad rap.
Terrifying.
As far as like the risks.
It's sitting in my freezer.
So
I don't know what to do with it.
Pork and steak is where I would start.
Stay away from the chicken.
Even though, like, because you can,
no, that's fine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I would do, because you can undercook a steak, right? People eat raw steaks. You know what I mean? It's a thing.
Yes.
Like, you know, so you can't go wrong there.
Tartar.
You know, so like now you just have to figure out like what is too overdone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was too overdone. I'm gonna, tone it down on the heat and the time of cooking. And so you can adjust steak. You can't adjust chicken.
Yeah.
If you do underdone chicken, it's like, okay, what did I just
start digging your grave?
Start digging
Well, I think this is actually, the overcooking has been a problem for me. And I was telling Mike earlier because I'm very slow in the kitchen currently. So I'll like start cooking something and then I'm like, time to cut, the onion. And I'm just spending a really long time there.
So mise en place.
Okay.
Mise en place, everything in its place. So do all the prep first, get your vegetables cut, get the things together. So like all you have to do is just put it together in the pan, in the pot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's that called?
While this is cooking, mise en place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a French term that they use in culinary school.
Okay.
I think we also need to
you just
Shane a Cuisinart, just like blitz everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm honestly just envisioning you chopping, and I think it sounds miserable. Just like the way
Just me very slowly.
Make
there's
meatballs
one
out of
slice of
everything.
mushroom.
And then I'm like, is that
There's
too much?
Jesus,
Weighing it all.
Yeah.
I did just buy a blender. I know that's not helpful for this, but it's been
you could blitz a tomato sauce. Make
That's
a milkshake.
True. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, because I realized I really struggle to put fruits and vegetables into my diet. And I was like, what if I...
I watch my fruit rot. Like, Jesus. Hey, Jairo, what do I do with vegetables?
Hey, I feel like I'm at that level, I mean, okay, we got to wrap up here soon.
Do we?
But I have a couple ending questions. What are your thoughts on meal prep sites?
Like strategy?
Well, I mean, sites like HelloFresh or Blue Apron. Yeah. That do these like packaged meals. Do you think those are good ways to get into cooking for someone who's new? Or do you think it's actually really helpful to just dive in and start cooking your own things?
Sure. I actually, one of our thoughts when the pandemic hit was to create these meals that people could, pick up or we could drop off that were basically
like
just prepped up, and you could, do your meal for your family of 2, 3, 4, you could pick which, and we never really did it because it was like towards the end and everything started opening back up. And, but we're like, man, that would be really cool if like we even like did a video, like they could download this video that we did, kind of, through YouTube, and they can watch us do it, and then while they're doing
localized.
And so, but the production of that was like that's kind of like more than what we need.
I will say it's something I would definitely check out.
But it is cool because like you get they basically prep it up, and what you do is just put it together, right? Mm-hmm. That's the part where you need to get better at, right? It's like how fast can I like put this together without burning my steak? So it's already done for you, and all you have to do is really just focus on that steak, right? And just focus on that protein, and everything else over here is kind of just doing its thing.
But you just told Jane the solution, Jairo. You're just like, hey, slice it before you start cooking anything.
I don't accept that.
I resent that.
Do not. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're really learning, you could do it with experience, but it's really difficult to do without that, under your belt. Without that time and that dedication, prior to it. Because I do it. But you're asking for beginners, right? So I'm saying, do that first.
Rewire their way of
first, learn that craft. Learn what what it means to cut an onion, say, or what slicing an onion, or dicing carrot or whatever. Learn that craft first. Put that together, and then put it together. When you're cooking, it's going to make it a lot easier and more, pleasant. To want to cook because you're not feeling that pressure of like, I got to get it done, right? You got everything done. All you have to do is focus on that cooking and then your protein or whatever it is that, you also are serving.
Yeah, this is probably just what I need to hear because I think I'm struggling with that Gen Z thing where if I'm not good at it immediately, I'm done. It's over.
I mean, yeah.
Because I think cooking just feels like something I should know how to do, so it doesn't feel like a skill I should practice in a weird way, but it probably does operate
take
that
practice.
way.
Yeah, my God.
It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Knife skills, everything. Like it's just.
It just sucks because I have to eat that. I have to put that practice into my mouth.
Literally, put your practice in your mouth.
Yeah, and it's okay to feel like you're 5 years old when you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like a 5-year-old holding a pencil. like it's new to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was new to you at some point, and when you dive into it and just use it, and the more you use it, the better you get at it. You know, it's like it's almost like second nature.
I taught someone how to grate Parmesan yesterday.
How old were they?
22.
Yes,
it's like I've never hold a blick of Parmigiano cheese.
I'm scared to admit that I've also never done that.
I know that's why. Yeah, so that's why we're here, Jane.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on.
Is that it? Land the plane, and then you've taught me everything you know, Jairo. I'm done.
I mean, we could spit out some quick tips right now, but I think.
What's your favorite thing to eat, Jairo? That's what I want to hear.
For me, my favorite go-to, and this sounds very cliche, but it's going to be a taco.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
very good.
It can be anything. It could be vegan. It could vegetable.
Just the concept of
the taco.
Yeah.
It's so versatile. Like we haven't even hit. The thing with the bite with me is like we're trying to expand what that is and the flavor profiles behind them, and the different ingredients that we can get here and source here locally, and put that into the mix.
And that's a bite with me with 2 E's on the meat, right?
Okay. Yep.
It's,
Mee Sun is my partner's name, so it's Mee Sun, double E.
So it's a little pun.
It's a little pun. It's a little pun.
That's a pun, and that's a taco.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Bite with Me here in South Bend. Make sure to check it out. And thanks for joining, giving us your tips. Hope you had a fun time.
Yeah, that was great.
I hope you, the audience, had a good time as well. I'm staring at Mike, but I'm talking to everybody listening.
No, it was great.
But please join us.
Fun.
Start grating your Parmesan.
Start grating your Parmesan. Start mise en plotting. Start cutting up your stuff.
Just don't turn that stove on yet until you chop everything.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Don't say. Don't
say adulting.
Thank you. Don't Say Adulting is a Grotto Network podcast produced by Jane O'Connor, Mike Rossetti, Kevin DeClute, and Josh Long. Additional production editing done by Kevin DeClute. Graphics and animation by Becky Rogers. Grotto Network is Director Javi Zubizarreta, Senior Producer Josh Long, Senior Content Editor Jesse McCartney, Art Director Becky Rogers, Senior Manager for Community Engagement Mike Rossetti, Social Media Manager Adrian Garaldi, Web Content Strategist Michaela Douglas, Producer Kevin DeClute, Associate Producer Jane O'Connor. Special thanks to our guest and Notre Dame Studios.